If you've been thinking of a great summer holiday on the P&O Azura in the Mediterranean, maybe we can help you see the ports and the ship.
The Coral Pool has the breakers bar above it, and this is where they do the sail away parties.
And if you're sailing away from this port, you'll already be in a good mood. Corfu in Greece.
Your ship will dock here in the cruise terminal. Just walk along by the sea and you'll come to the old town with the new fortress and the old fortress. The new fortress is still a working naval base and it's huge. The new fortress is separated from the old fortress by the market, and we're going to take a walk through now. The old fortress is this way. Dates back to the 6th century AD. Let's take a look. This mid-1800s construction was the British Army barracks. St Spyridon's Church is the most important church in Corfu. It houses the remains of the saint and is still a site of pilgrimage. Beyond the Asian Art Museum is the Esplanade. It's a perfect, spacious area built by the Venetians, ideal for walking, drinking, eating. There are loads of cafes. It boasts a bandstand, and I'm now looking for the Liston. It's the trendy part of town. The Liston is a terrace of arcaded buildings built by the French.
If you want to see Jean's whole film on Corfu, it's on the Doris Visits YouTube channel. Jean?
This may well be where your shuttle bus drops you. It's opposite the old fortress, and the old town is over there.
Time to get back to the Azura.
The Azura was built in 2010, so it's 13 years old now. We haven't been on for a while. Let's go and see if it's changed. Key fact to remember on the Azura: when you come out of the lift, you're always facing the front of the ship, unless you're on one of the 2 glass lifts on the Atrium.
This next port you're going to look forward to going to, because if it smells like Game of Thrones, looks like Game of Thrones, then it probably is Game of Thrones. Dubrovnik is one place you will not get tired of. Your ship will dock here, and a shuttle bus will drop you right off by the main gate.
We enter through the Par Gate at the western end and straightway see the large Onofrio fountain with its 6 carved heads. It was built about 1440 by Onofrio di Giordano della Cava. With 4 ships in port today, the main street is very crowded. Around Lutza Square at the end of Plaza are several beautiful buildings. In the square is the Rector's Palace, Sponsor's Palace and St Blaise's Church. St Blaise's Church dates from 1714. In the harbour, the water is crystal clear and the sun bounces off it like sparkling diamonds. It has a very relaxing feel.
There are plenty of opportunities to just stop, have a drink, something to eat, watch the boats, as well as walk around the walls. These are the famous Spanish deaths from Game of Thrones, where they did the head chopping off.
Great excitement today. A Japanese film crew are here, making a reenactment.
It does have a real Game of Thrones feel to it. Not only did they film on the steps, but they filmed along the walls. Because there's 4 ships in today, the Costa ship has pulled the short straw and is tendering.
That's not necessarily a bad thing. The tender is as quick as the coach, and it's more fun.
Your cabin steward is only available in the morning to make up your room, so if you want your room made up, you must put your card in. There's 2 ships in Split today, the MSC Symphonia and the P&O Azura. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Guess where we are? We're in Split. And if you want to pick up the free walking tour, it's up here. So we found the free Spirit walking tour. free. You just give a tip at the end. So this massive statue behind me is Gregory of Nîmes, and you're supposed to rub his toe for luck. The special thing about this palace is that people actually live here and have been for about 1500 years. This area is the killing zone. We saw it in Troy. These substructures or basements were where they filmed the places where the dragons were kept in Game of Thrones.
When you're back on the ship, you have to dust yourself off, put on your glad rags, and get ready for a great night out.
At the front of the ship is the Playhouse Theatre, and this is where you get your evening entertainment and also your daytime speakers. Next to the Playhouse on deck 7 is the Glass House. You don't have to book to come here, and you can sample wines recommended by TV's Ollie Smith and try some delicious tapas.
You may think this the most beautiful and sleepiest island ever, but no, mob problems met with the very first female head of Interpol coming from here. It becomes a perfect setting for one of the unexpectedly exciting stops for the investigators in the cruise crime novel Cruise Ship Art Theft, which is perfectly location accurate in the chase from the church to the beach and to the market square as they avoid an assassination attempt.
We've arrived in Ajaccio in Corsica. We were due to stop in Cannes, but it was too windy, so the tenders couldn't get in. So we diverted here, which I think is a win. What can you do on your own? Great beaches. You can eat the best fresh seafood. Check my plate out later. Trolley train across the road in the market square. Napoleon's house, or a hop-on, hop-off bus, plus
Bicycles, segways, electric scooters, all here to help you enjoy Corsica. Hello. Hello, 2 tickets please.
The Ajaccio statue is the work of Barry, and the whole square is by Viollet-le-Duc. It was inaugurated by Prince Napoleon on the 15th.
Ship tours will normally include the mini train, taking you about as far as you can go from the city to wonderful scenery, a taste of Corsica as a coach to the outskirts of town, and a winery and a nougat factory. Then, Corsica's natural beauty is a trip to the countryside, including Prunelli's Gorge and Lake Tolla.
If you fancy just a chill on the beach, it's not far to walk. You could call this Napoleon Island. This is the main statue of him, and everywhere there are roads called Napoleon, pictures of Napoleon. This is where he lived, and they're obviously very proud of that. So we're in Napoleon's house, and this is a replica of his bed. Corsica is full of beautiful little alleyways to meander down. Next to the Glass House on deck 7 is the jewellery shop, where you can treat yourself if you want to. You'll also find the makeup shops here if you've forgotten anything or you want to treat someone back home. They also have great odour testers.
Rome wasn't built in a day, but you may have to visit Rome in a day. So we revisited all our films of Rome and put together this guide. It may also help you find the best place to take that great photo rather than having to fight with the crowd. We'll show you the route by train, though this is one place that you might find the big bus tour very helpful. Your ship will arrive in Civitavecchia. Look for either the big bus shuttle or a local bus to the station.
You get the shuttle from the ship to the bus stop, and then you get the bus for €2 to the station. It's bus stop 4, you get on at bus stop 3, and you buy your ticket for Rome here. Everybody goes to tourist information, but you can buy tickets in the station.
Now decide where you're going to get off, because the nearest station to the Vatican is not the main Rome terminal. The nearer Roma Espiatro is where many will get off and walk the 9 minutes into the Vatican. Tucked away here in the outskirts is what I think is one of the most magnificent buildings in Rome. You'll need to check to see it's open. Look up the times on the internet before you go. Do you recognize it? From the movie Angels and Demons.
This is the church of the Santa Maria della Vittoria, where the 3rd cardinal was found dead. The clue was fire. He was found dead in front of a statue of St. Teresa. She claimed that an angel had pierced her heart and she was on fire with the love of God.
It's not on many bus tours, but really not to be missed. If you're a fan of Angels and Demons, those tours book up fast. But we have most of it here on Doris Visits, and you can do it and Rome by tube.
Do the whole Angels and Demons tour on the tube for €7.
And then it's back on ship for a great meal and a great show.
Just a bit further along on Deck 7 is the Malabar, where they have evening entertainment and magic shows for kids in the day. Welcome to Heraklion. The first attempts to make this a port were in the 9th century with the Arabs. Now it's a container dock, so you're not allowed to walk inside the dock. You have to get a shuttle bus to the edge of the port. Then you can either follow the yellow line into town, you can follow the coastal road all along to the stadium and see the beaches, or you can get a public bus and go to the Palace of Knossos. We're going to show you all three. It's cheap and it's easy.
So there are two types of shuttle bus. One will take you just outside the port. The other, you might be lucky to go right up to the square, where it's easy to get a bus to the ruins. And that's the best thing there.
Knossos is the largest palace in Crete. It was built about 1900 BC, but destroyed by 1700 BC, and then began a long period of restoration called the Second Palace period. By 1380 BC, it had lost most of its glory. You are going to have to negotiate some steps, even though it's bordered and there are walkways. Sometimes there's no choice. Well, the Palace of Knossos might be the biggest palace in Crete, but it's not exactly Jerash. It'll cost you €15 to get in. 25 minutes in the bus to Knossos, an hour to walk around. Don't ignore the cafe on the way out. It really is a treat. 25 minutes back gives us plenty of time to have a wander around the town. Let's go and have a look. A great place to sit and drink coffee is by the Morosini Fountain. It was founded in 1629 in the Venetian period, and this little square is full of cafes. The Sindhu, another premium restaurant for Indian cuisine. In here, you pay for the food as priced on the menu. And remember, if you want it spicy, ask for it spicy. If you find the bars busy, come and have a drink at the Sindhu. We come down to the beach today. If you turn left at the Marina Park where we got off and just stroll along, the beaches get better and better the further you go.
As a cruiser, you'll get to Athens over and over again. And each time you do, you'll find something new.
As we walked away from the main taxi rank, we got offered a taxi for €10 to the Acropolis, which is really cheap. So this is wonderfully near Montserrati Station, which is just behind the museum you can see in front of us. The flea market is to the left. Plaka Square is behind the museum. Views of the Acropolis are on the hill.
Acropoli e Templo Partenone.
Is that the temple of Herodotus Atticus? We're heading back to Syntagma Square. The square is opposite, Parliament is behind you, and everything is signposted. Outside the Parliament buildings, we're so lucky to see the changing of the guard, and they must be so hot. They've got thick white tights on. So this is the top of Areopagus Hill. It's very slippy to climb, and there's no easy access. If you want to take a picture of the Acropolis, the best place to take it is from the top of this hill, because when you're up there, it'll be very hard to get the whole thing in the frame.
Full versions of all these port guides can be found on our Doris Visits YouTube channel.
At the opposite end to the Playhouse is the Manhattan, and this is where in the evening they have a disc jockey and you can dance, or last night we saw a comedian. If you're not on a tour at La Spezia, it's a very pleasant stroll along the seafront and then turn right and you go straight into the main street of the town, and then you may want to visit the castle. The Castillo di San Giorgio is the most significant monument in La Spezia. It overlooks the port, and it was built and extended several times during the 14th to the 17th century.
If you're going to jump an Italian train to Pisa, you must validate your ticket.
When you come out of the station, there's a sign that tells you which way to walk for the tower. It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it. I mean, who knows when it might fall down. Probably the prettiest of the restaurants is the Oriental. It's on deck 6 and it's for set dining. Another lovely sunny day, and we're off to find the bus for Chania.
The locally organised bus is at the port. The other options are a taxi or the hop-on, hop-off bus if there's one there.
€3.40 return to Chania.
Chania is a very relaxing port and one that's easy to walk around and explore yourself.
The bus from the cruise ship will drop you off just in this square opposite the statue and right across from the Old Market, which is the heart of the city. The original marketplace was completed in 1913, not that long ago. We're going to follow the sign towards the old town, which is over there. The Cathedral of Iconium was built on the site of an older temple of the Presentation of the Virgin Mary. When the Turks occupied Chania, it was converted into a soap factory, and now it's back to a cathedral again.
Okay, the different areas.
Is the blue line around the old port. The medium have €10 difference, but the double.
The Venetian harbour is a brilliant place to just sit, have a coffee and people watch.
There is something very special about cruising. Being able to visit these wonderful places and then come back and having a great evening.
If gambling is your thing, come down to Brodies Casino and Bar on Deck 6. It has entertainment in the evenings and also quizzes and late night karaoke. Fancy a game of pool, or if you want to watch football, Brodies is the place. It's also a venue where you don't have to dress up on formal nights in the evening.
On the Azura, there's normally 2 formal nights a week and people do dress up.
So there are a number of ways to spell Kefalonia, but let's assume that this one could be right. As you come off the ship, there's a little tourist office where they're very helpful and they give you a map. The bus stop couldn't be closer to the ship, and there's also a taxi rank right beside it. If you just want a little tour of the town for €7, you can jump on this train. You can explore Argostoli, the capital of Kefalonia, in 30 minutes. You see the bridge, the lagoon, the natural park, the central square, the archaeological museum, the city hall, the pedestrian course of Livostroto, the cathedral and the Catholic Church of St. Nicholas, all in 30 minutes. Just a short way past the bus stop, you'll come to the main road. Let's go and have an explore. Charles Le Boffet was responsible for this stone bridge, which separates the lagoon, a great breeding ground for turtles, from Argostoli Bay. How do I stop? How do I stop?
The highlights are Assos and Biscardo Village, the Melisani Lake and Caves, St Andrew's Monastery and Rabolla Winery, where you can sample some local wine, Sami, where they made Captain Corelli's mandolin, or the Castle of St George, which used to be the old capital. Or you can just come for a walk with me.
Just like in life, you can turn left or right. In Kefalonia, it's the same. You can turn left and go to the city, or you can turn right and have all this nature and go to the sinkholes and the watermill. Whoop. If art is your thing, check out the White Wall Gallery. It's beautifully set out. Deck 5.
2 cruisers were recently arrested for stealing art from an art gallery. If they got the idea from my book, they didn't read it carefully enough. Read them all.
We're in the Ivory Suite, and this is where you can come and renew your wedding vows. And, little known fact, you can come and tinkle the ivories. Practice the piano if you want to.
We're by no means finished yet, and in fact, there are so many more ports because this is just a wonderful route. But here's the magic. In a week, it does a group of ports. In a second week, the Azura chooses a second group of ports, and in the third week, again a third group. So you could have a 3-week holiday and not see the same ports, but just have a fantastic time. Zadar, this place is very special. I love it. We've been back so many times. The shopping is great. The local ladies actually do wonderful crocheting, and I bought my best ever t-shirt here in Zadar. And it's not just an old city, there are beaches. And Jean does show you where. So please do follow us. Check out the Doris Visits YouTube channel. Please subscribe and share with your friends. It really helps us to have those numbers keep going up because we get extra tools to be able to do extra things. And that makes our life so much easier.
The Oasis pool is tucked away. It's just by the spa. Not a lot of people know that. It's a bit more private. And behind that is the Oasis area, which is a prime area where you pay a little extra for a little bit more privacy.
I'd love it if you did read our cruise thriller novels. Cruise Ship Heist. Please review it wherever you bought it, on Amazon or Apple or Google.
We've actually arrived in Mykonos. It's the first time we've got in, and now we can get the shuttle bus, which is over there with the tour coaches, or we can get the sea bus, which is €2. You can sit on the top on the deck, or you can sit below and it's glass bottom. I'll show you.
The boat is actually more fun than the bus. Now, if you want to visit the sacred island, you need to get your skates on, go across early.
If you want to visit Delos, the sacred island, which is an island of ruins, go at 10 o'clock in the morning. You'll be back by 1:30, and then you'll have time to visit Mykonos during the rest of the day.
I was just about to tell you that. All Jean's films are full of great facts.
So the ship stops up here, and the shuttle bus took us all around the bay, and we've stopped about here, and we're going off to explore. This is what's in the town. Please don't forget, like and subscribe Doris Visits. Mykonos Castle. This incredible settlement has been here since at least the Neolithic age, and it's looking out over the stunning Aegean Sea. This island is absolutely idyllic. It's stunning. Everywhere you look, it's like out of a storybook. Close to the ship, there's apparently a monastery at the point. There's a beach very nearby, and very close to the ship, there's a small beach. Please subscribe to this channel and like this film. You'll find the buffet on deck 15, which is also the deck where you'll find the pools and the bars. In the evening, this turns into the beach house.
Thanks for watching Doris Visits, and please remember to subscribe and like. It really means a lot to us. Thanks very much.